human traits and characteristics, you see yourself in those characters. But tonight's story is about humans. And this is about the messenger from Maftan. In Africa, in the African village, there was a man that everyone talked about was such an honorable person. He could never tell a lie. And word spread about this man who was so honest, he never told a lie. The king heard it. And the king said, well, who is this man who has never told a lie? I think that's an exaggeration. And the people said to him, his counselors, not only has he never told a lie, but he never will lie. And the king said, wait a minute. How can anyone know what circumstances will bring? How can he say, I'm arrogant? Bring this man to me. And so they brought the man in, the messenger. And he says to him, I understand you never told a lie. The messenger says, no. He says, and I understand you never will tell a lie. And the messenger says, that's right. Because the king says, how dare you? How do you know you will never, ever tell a lie? He says, all right, go back. And the messenger leaves, and the king is really upset about this. He says, he has to be taught a lesson. So he says, I know. I'm going to tell him we'll hunt tomorrow, but we won't. Bring the messenger back to me. I'd like to speak to him. And so he comes back, and he says to him, I want you to go to my other house. Tell my wife that I am going on a hunt. I will catch an antelope. And tell her to be prepared to cook this antelope. That the men and I will be very hungry. We will be there at noon today, and I want you to wait there for me. And so he thinks, oh my goodness, this is a song name, the messenger. I better be very careful and tell this message. This is what he's thinking. So he rushes, and he's really feeling good about himself that the king chose him to take the message to his wife. So when he gets to the village, he says to the wife, I have a very important message for you from your husband. And she says, all right, what is it? He says, well, your husband, now they're going to hunt. Well, I think I'm not sure. I think they're going to hunt. Well, they must be going to hunt because the men were all standing around with their weapons. That is, unless they already hunted. But they could not have hunted already because there was no meat. Unless they went and they couldn't find game. And the wife says, well, what is it? Are they going hunting or not? Well, it's just as I said. They could possibly be going hunting. He says, your husband says that you should prepare to fix an antelope for the men who will be very hungry if they went hunting. That is, if the men come here to eat, if they hunt, they should catch. And the wife says, is there anything else you almost want to tell me? He says, yes. He said for me to stay here because if they do come, well, I think if they should come here, that is if they hunt, they might find meat. And if they do, and you're fixing to serve this antelope that they might catch, I should be here. I'll be here. He's coming, and I should be here. And so the wife says, oh, and she just walks away. And he, in the meantime, goes and lies down on a mat. And the king and his men come, and they don't come the day that they said they would at noon. They come the next day, and he's lying there, and they laugh, and the chief says, you see, come to me. His wife said, oh, what's going on? He says, this man says he would never tell a lie, and he did. And the wife says, what lie did he tell? He told you that I was going hunting, I would catch an antelope, we would bring the antelope here, you would fix it, and we'd be here by noon. She says, well, he really didn't. He was talking, but there were so many disqualifications and stops and starts, I don't know what he said. And the chief felt really bad. He said, oh, isn't this something? Here, you really are what everyone said. You're an honest, honorable man. And I was trying to trick you. He says, I'm very sorry. He had his men, his servants, take several very expensive, valuable gifts to the messenger's house. And he said to him, I am so sorry. I will never again doubt you. And the messenger said, the chief said, because I see that you will never tell a lie. And the messenger said, that's right, I don't think I could never, well, most likely, I'm thinking,